Oh, can you hear me? Okay, shifting landscapes, as you can see, would be a series of 3 large-scale site-specific movement choirs. Now, if we're returning to a theme of earlier this evening, I would say that you might be thinking, what the fuck is a movement choir? This is an example of part of a singing choir. What would you do out of the blue today? Okay, we all know what that is. This might be a part of a movement choir. Only with 1,000 people. So a movement choir is it's more, rather than a dance, it's more like an installation. Only you have people instead of immobile objects. And this is why it's called shifting landscapes, because I want to have 3 sites that we hold dear to our hearts here in Indianapolis, that we put a huge amount of people, and we go out and we teach all different populations. So you will have you guys, and you'll be moving next to an at-risk teenager, and that at-risk teenager is going to be, moving next to a Hispanic family, and that Hispanic family is going to be next to a Rotarian, and that Rotarian is going to be, next to, someone from the Julian Center. And we go out and we teach all of these polarized different areas of the population, and they come together to create this incredible movement experience, an incredible visual experience in whatever site we happen to be in. Now, the United States does not have a tradition of dance at all. It does not have any kind of unifying dance at all. What kind? What? Hula? Hula? Well, okay, I'm going to keep going. But we don't. And every time someone says the word dance, people go, hey, you don't want me. I can't dance. I have no rhythm. A movement choir does not have steps. It does have music. It has music that has an inspiration to the movers and to the people, and to the audience, to the onlookers. But it's not a series of steps. It is a series of movements that are created by imagery. Here we go. It originated in a utopian community in Switzerland in the early 20th century. And it was about people getting out in nature and moving in nature. And this was to reinforce their bond of who they were, their identity. And I would like to have a giant movement choir 3 times in 3 different areas of Indianapolis that reinforce who we are as Hoosiers. I'm not from Indianapolis originally, and I've lived here 15 years, and I think this is a fabulous city. And it is. There are so many beautiful locations that are sacred, that make me really feel, they just make me feel fantastic when I pass them by. But we take them for granted. But picture Monument Circle. And your Monument Circle, you drive by it and there's people sitting out there and they're eating lunch. Now picture Monument Circle with over 1,000 people. And they're up on the steps. And some people are doing a specific movement, and people are moving around the circle, and the whole landscape shifts. And the boundaries between them dissolve. And the onlookers are looking out there and saying, those are my peeps. And, that's when you touch the divine. These pictures are from a movement choir that I did earlier this year, and you'll recognize the sacred space as the Butler football field. This movement choir was put together by a small group of dancers and was recruited by word of mouth. And I had over 500 participants. I have had so many people say, when is the next movement choir? When can I do it again? I had such a great feeling doing it. I want to be part of that again. Every one of you could be, yeah, there we go, there's a movement choir, right? Just a little bit more movement possibilities. They could happen. You know, and we did have a section that had more highly skilled movers within it, which I would want to have with this as well. So, you know, I think that what makes a space, when I look and I see a space that I consider sacred, the thing that makes it sacred to me is the people, and the people moving within it. And this project is meant to mesh the aesthetic and the sacred. The aesthetic is sacred to me. That is my belief system. And, you know, for all of you who are sitting here in the IMA, I would imagine that you're like-minded too. And, you know, this is what, when you have this movement, you can see that this has, you know, always been used to reinforce a common identity of people. We could reinforce our commonality rather than our differences. You know, the Shakers knew what it was all about, and the whirling dervishes, and certainly African traditional music. They all use movement to reinforce their cultural identity. So here, what I would need for funding. I would need a lot of assistance. I would need some trained movers to not only help me put the movement choir together, but also lead it while we were out there, so that there was not this sort of feeling of, uh-oh, what comes next? I would need musicians, because even though there's musical accompaniment, it's not rhythmical, so you don't have to worry about keeping time. But the overall feel of it is designed to be in harmony with our city and to create a gigantic, significant installation exhibit. I just want to say that there's one more. I wanted to read a couple of quotes of participants from my last movement choir. And one of them is from Maddie. And she says, when I see someone from the movement choir across campus, we're not just people passing by anymore. It's a lovely bond that I have with them. And Kyle said, no one is a stranger to me. Thank you.